big recruiting weekend at USC, and one of the biggest prospects in all of the country is going to be there, quarterback Julian Lewis. We're going to talk over it with Steve Wiltfong. Now, Steve, Juju Lewis makes his return to LA this weekend, official visit. We got to sit down and spend some time with Julian Lewis, and I certainly found out that he's much more locked into USC than I was giving him credit for. So this weekend, what does it mean for Julian Lewis and his recruitment and his commitment to the Trojans?
Well, on his last visit in the summer, Julian Lewis got a taste for what it would be like to just live in California. He was there for multiple days, just went shopping at some of the famous places out there, bounced around town and just got a feel for life on the West Coast. And he really dug that vibe. Lincoln Riley did the best job recruiting Julian Lewis, from the personal touch from the head coach. He's very involved, obviously, with the quarterback position. And Julian Lewis called him the best coach in the country because how involved Lincoln Riley is as the head coach, how involved he is as the offensive coordinator, and how involved he is as the quarterback's coach. He wears a lot of hats, and to get that kind of dedication to his position from the head coach is special, never mind the fact that not only does any quarterback that starts for Lincoln Riley, he has the Midas touch with the Heisman trophies and the first round draft picks. So he always feels at home around Lincoln Riley. They sit together for hours on these visits, and that has really resonated. I think for Julian Lewis, he's most excited to kind of get a feel for how USC is going to finish this class. Are they going to hang on to Justice Terry and Isaiah Gibson? Who else are they bringing in on defense? How are some of these young players that they recruited in these highly ranked recruiting classes beforehand, how are they developing? What kind of impact are they going to make as young players on USC's roster? How competitive can they be in the Big Ten? He knows the opportunity to play for Lincoln Riley. He's committed. He loves USC. He's obviously keeping the door open for some other programs. And I think he won't make a final decision until the fall, Josh. I think he's going to watch some games be played, see how USC looks, stack it up with Auburn, Colorado, and Indiana. Maybe some others come into play. But he's at USC this weekend. Then he's got Auburn. Then he's got Colorado. Then it's time for him to try and win a state championship. He's the defending Gatorade State Player of the Year in the Peach State. He was a finalist for Gatorade National Player of the Year. He's poised to have a huge season, and he's also trying to figure out exactly what his college future will be.
Yep. All right. A pair of elite Texas prospects also going to be on campus. Wide receiver Andrew Marsh and linebacker Riley Pettijohn. Looks like Marsh from Katy, Texas, or Pettijohn from McKinney, Texas, and both are going to be really tough to pull out of the state. Which one do you think USC has a better shot at?
Well, they've been in great shape for Andrew Marsh for much of his process. He's been on campus a ton, loves the offense, loves Coach Simmons. So I think that don't sleep on the Trojans for Andrew Marsh. I could see him playing his college football at USC. Riley Pettijohn was at Ohio State last weekend. There were some people that spent time with him. They think they're the biggest threat to Texas. Now, A&M and USC rounding out the top four. Pettijohn was at USC this spring. Coach Deonta Lynn really gives USC credibility with their defense for how quickly he was able to turn UCLA around in the same position, his NFL pedigree. So Riley Pettijohn's giving USC a good look, and we'll see if they can make a move. I certainly already think that USC is one of the front runners for Andrew Marsh.
All right. Well, Edge Justin Hill, you had a prediction in for Ohio State. He's now trending to the Buckeyes, but this weekend he's in California and he'll visit USC. They got a shot?
I think they got to make up ground on Ohio State first and foremost. Then you got Alabama. Then you got Oregon. So those are the four finalists. I would put USC fourth among that group for Justin Hill, but we'll see. There's some other guys that are coming in that they're in much better shape for, Josh. One name that's kind of new to the list is Dorian Brew, 5-star defensive back, originally slated to visit Texas this weekend, hearing he could visit USC instead. And we spent time with him at the Elite Series, On 3 Elite Series in Nashville last week. And USC and Ohio State were, my takeaway was those are the front runners in this recruitment. And LSU, Texas, some of the others trying to make a move. And I get the sense USC, could maybe have an inch or two on this, with Coach Bell, Coach Deonta Lynn, certainly Coach Riley. He's excited about USC. He's been there a couple times. He's an opportunity to play early for some coaches that he really likes for a program on the rise that's moving into the Big Ten. They like that LA vibe. So Dorian Brew, USC, that's looking good right now, but I'm still not sleeping on the Buckeyes either. He almost committed to Ohio State at one point in this process. His mom ran track there. It's a school that he's always been a fan of, and certainly Texas, LSU, and Oregon aren't going to go away, but USC in an interesting spot. And Chad Simmons and I recently in our Best Guess article picked USC for Dorian Brew. Noah McHale's got his final three, USC, Oregon, and Texas A&M, so big official visit there. And then Dalen McCutcheon's a blue chip receiver out of the Lone Star State as well that USC's on the short list for. They've gotten him to campus a couple times. And I wouldn't count out USC for Dalen McCutcheon.